The social media revolution and its hidden impact. Imagine waking up every day to a constant flood of notifications, messages, likes, and shares. For billions around the world, this is the new normal, a world where social media shapes not just how we connect, but also how we feel, think, and even perceive ourselves. But beneath the colorful photos and viral videos lies a powerful force quietly influencing our mental health in ways many of us never stop to consider. Did you know that according to a 2023 study, the average person spends nearly 2.5 hours per day scrolling through social media platforms? That adds up to over 5 years of your life spent staring at screens, a staggering figure that raises an important question. What is social media really doing to our minds? Today, we're diving deep into this very question. This video explores the complex relationship between social media and mental health, revealing both the surprising benefits and the alarming downsides. We'll unpack the science, hear real stories from people affected, and discover how you can take control to protect your well-being in this hyper-connected era. Whether you're an avid user, a casual scroller, or someone who's been feeling the emotional toll of constant online exposure, this video will offer insights that could change the way you interact with social media forever. So stay tuned, because what you're about to learn might just save your mental health. While social media often gets a bad rap, it's important to remember that it isn't all negative. For many, these platforms offer powerful tools for connection, support, and self-expression, things that can positively impact mental health in meaningful ways. First, social media connects us to people we might never meet otherwise. Whether it's a friend across the globe, a support group for mental health struggles, or communities built around shared interests, these virtual networks can provide a sense of belonging. For example, many individuals dealing with anxiety or depression have found online support groups to be lifelines, places where they can share experiences without fear of judgment. Consider the story of Sarah, a young woman from a small town who struggled with social anxiety. Before discovering an online mental health forum, she felt isolated and misunderstood. Through her interactions in this safe space, she not only learned coping strategies, but also made friends who encouraged her to seek professional help. Social media was her bridge to healing. Moreover, platforms like Instagram and TikTok have become spaces where mental health advocates raise awareness and reduce stigma. Creators share educational content, personal stories, and practical advice, making complex psychological concepts accessible to millions. This democratization of knowledge helps normalize conversations about mental health, encouraging more people to seek help. In addition, social media can foster creativity and self-expression. Many users find joy in sharing art, music, writing, and other personal projects, which contributes to improved mood and self-esteem. Feeling heard and validated online can be incredibly empowering. Scientific research supports these benefits. Studies show that positive interactions on social media, such as receiving supportive comments or engaging in meaningful conversations, can boost feelings of happiness and reduce loneliness. Social connection, whether offline or online, is a fundamental human need tied directly to mental well-being. However, it's essential to recognize that these positive effects depend on how social media is used. Intentional, mindful engagement focused on genuine connection and learning tends to enhance mental health. But, as we'll explore next, excessive or careless use can have the opposite effect. Despite its benefits, social media can also be a double-edged sword. For many people, the constant exposure to curated images, endless comparisons, and digital noise can take a serious toll on mental health. One of the most well-documented issues is social comparison. Platforms like Instagram and Facebook often showcase highlight reels of people's lives, perfect vacations, flawless selfies, and moments of success. This constant stream can create unrealistic expectations and lead users to feel inadequate or unhappy with their own lives. Research has linked excessive social comparison on social media to higher rates of depression and anxiety, especially among teenagers and young adults. Take the example of James, a college student who began feeling increasingly anxious and depressed after spending hours scrolling through Instagram. Seeing his peers' seemingly perfect lives made him question his own worth. This spiral of negative self-comparison eventually affected his academic performance and social interactions. Stories like James are all too common in today's digital age. Another major issue is cyberbullying. Unlike traditional bullying, cyberbullying can happen 24/7 and reach the victim even in their safest spaces. The anonymity of the internet often emboldens bullies, making harmful comments and harassment more frequent and damaging. Studies show that victims of cyberbullying have a significantly higher risk of developing mental health disorders such as depression, anxiety, and even suicidal thoughts. Moreover, social media use can disrupt sleep patterns. The blue light emitted by screens interferes with the body's natural circadian rhythms, making it harder to fall asleep. Poor sleep, in turn, exacerbates stress, mood disorders, and cognitive difficulties. Many people find themselves caught in a vicious cycle. Stress leads to more screen time, which worsens sleep and mental health. There's also the problem of addiction and dopamine-driven behavior. Social media platforms are designed to be addictive, with endless scrolling, notifications, and likes triggering dopamine releases in the brain. This can lead to compulsive use, decreased attention spans, and a feeling of being hooked. When users try to cut back, they may experience anxiety or irritability, symptoms similar to other behavioral addictions. Finally, the spread of misinformation on social media can cause confusion, fear, and mistrust, particularly around health-related topics. During crises like the COVID-19 pandemic, false information contributed to anxiety and poor decision-making among millions. In summary, while social media can connect and uplift us, its misuse or overuse can harm our mental well-being in profound ways. The key lies in understanding these risks and learning to navigate the digital world mindfully. To truly understand how social media affects our minds, it's important to look at the science behind it. Researchers in psychology, neuroscience, and behavioral science have been studying the complex interactions between digital technology and mental health for over a decade now, uncovering insights that explain why social media can be both helpful and harmful. One key concept is the reward system in our brain, particularly involving dopamine, often called the feel-good neurotransmitter. Every time we receive a like, comment, or new follower, our brain releases dopamine, giving us a sense of pleasure and reinforcement. This reaction encourages us to keep engaging with social media platforms. While this can boost mood temporarily, it can also lead to addictive behaviors, as our brains start craving these small hits of reward repeatedly throughout the day. Additionally, the fear of missing out, FOMO, phenomenon is amplified by social media. Seeing friends or acquaintances constantly sharing exciting experiences can make users feel left out or anxious about not participating. This can increase stress levels and decrease overall life satisfaction. Another important area of study is social comparison theory, which suggests that people determine their own social and personal worth based on how they stack up against others. Online platforms, with their carefully curated and filtered content, create a distorted reality where users often compare themselves to idealized versions of others, leading to negative self-perception. Moreover, cyberbullying and online harassment activate the brain's stress response, triggering the release of cortisol and other stress hormones. Chronic exposure to such stressors can result in long-term changes to brain function, contributing to anxiety disorders and depression. Studies also show that excessive screen time can reduce time spent on activities that promote mental well-being, such as physical exercise, face-to-face social interactions, and sleep. The displacement of these healthy activities by social media use is one reason for the observed decline in mental health among heavy users. On the flip side, research confirms that positive social interactions online, like receiving support, encouragement, and genuine connection, activate neural pathways linked to social bonding and happiness. This highlights the dual potential of social media as both a risk factor and a protective factor depending on usage patterns. In short, the science reveals a nuanced picture. Social media's impact on mental health depends on how and why we use it, not just whether we use it. Understanding the science is crucial, but nothing makes the effects of social media more real than hearing personal stories from people who have experienced its impact firsthand. These stories illustrate both the uplifting and challenging sides of living in a digital world. Take Emma, a graphic designer in her late 20s who credits Instagram for helping her find her creative voice and build a community. After struggling with feelings of loneliness during the pandemic, Emma started sharing her artwork online. The positive feedback and connections she made boosted her confidence and gave her a sense of purpose. For Emma, social media became a source of inspiration and mental wellness. On the flip side, there's Alex, a high school student who found himself trapped in a cycle of anxiety and depression linked to his social media use. Like many teens, Alex spent hours scrolling through TikTok and Snapchat, constantly comparing himself to others and worrying about his online image. The pressure to appear perfect online began to affect his sleep and self-esteem, and he eventually sought therapy to break free from the toxic habits. Another example comes from Sarah, a young mother who found solace in a Facebook support group for postpartum depression. Connecting with other mothers who shared similar struggles helped Sarah feel less isolated and more understood. The group offered practical advice, empathy, and hope during a difficult time in her life. However, not all stories have happy endings. Michael, a university student, faced severe cyberbullying after expressing his opinions on social media. The harassment affected his mental health profoundly, leading to a drop in academic performance and social withdrawal. His experience highlights the darker potential of online platforms. These real-world examples show how social media can shape mental health in vastly different ways, depending on individual circumstances and usage. They remind us that behind every screen is a human being navigating a complex digital landscape. Knowing the risks and benefits of social media is only half the battle. The real power lies in learning how to use these platforms in ways that support rather than harm your mental health. Here are some practical, science-backed strategies to help you take control. Set time limits and take breaks. Studies show that limiting daily social media use to around 30 minutes to an hour can reduce feelings of anxiety and depression. Use built-in phone features or apps to track your screen time, and schedule regular breaks throughout the day to disconnect and recharge. Curate your feed. Unfollow accounts that trigger negative feelings such as jealousy, anxiety, or inadequacy. Instead, follow pages and creators that inspire, educate, or uplift you. This intentional curation creates a healthier online environment. Engage authentically. Focus on meaningful interactions rather than passive scrolling. Comment, message, and engage in conversations that foster genuine connection. This enhances feelings of belonging and reduces loneliness. Practice digital detoxes. Consider regular digital detoxes, days or weekends without social media, to reset your mind. Use this time to engage in offline activities like exercise, hobbies, or face-to-face time with loved ones. Be mindful of comparisons. Remind yourself that social media often shows a highlight reel, not reality. Practice self-compassion and focus on your own progress and well-being rather than measuring yourself against others. Seek support when needed. If social media use is causing significant distress, don't hesitate to seek professional help. Therapists can offer strategies to manage anxiety, depression, or addictive behaviors related to digital media. Use social media for learning and growth. Follow mental health advocates, educational channels, and positive communities. Use social media as a tool to gain knowledge and support personal development. By incorporating these strategies, you can shift your relationship with social media from one of passive consumption to intentional, mindful use, transforming it into a force for good in your mental health journey. Now that you've seen both the positive and negative sides of social media's impact on mental health, it's time to take action. Reflect honestly on your own social media habits. Are they uplifting and supportive, or are they draining your energy and peace of mind? I challenge you to take one step today. Choose one practical strategy we discussed, whether it's setting a time limit, curating your feed, or taking a digital detox, and commit to it for at least 1 week. Notice how it affects your mood, stress levels, and overall well-being. Remember, social media is a tool. It doesn't have to control you. By becoming more mindful and intentional about how you use these platforms, you reclaim your power to protect and improve your mental health. Social media offers incredible opportunities for connection, learning, and self-expression, but it can also fuel anxiety, depression, and feelings of isolation if used carelessly. Understanding the science behind these effects helps you make smarter choices. Real stories remind us that every user's experience is unique, and practical strategies empower you to create a healthier digital life. The digital world isn't going away anytime soon, but your relationship with it can change for the better. Take control today and help others do the same by sharing this video and starting conversations about mental health and social media. Thank you for watching. If you found this video helpful, please like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more deep dives into mental health and personal growth. Stay mindful, stay connected, and take care of your mind.